Hey guys, I'm Louise and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video I'm going to be potting up some really overdue propagations, as well as showing you a few failed propagations just haven't worked. And before we get into that, please make sure you subscribe to my channel and like this video. So before I get into potting up, I just want to show you a few propagations that haven't worked. So the first propagation, which I have shown you in the last video, and it was doing really well. I'm not really sure what happened apart from the leaf rotted. Well, the stem of the leaf rotted, and that was kind of about it for it. So it was my watermelon peperomia. Basically, this cutting, I didn't actually take the leaf snapped off from the plant, and it was doing so well. And basically, I think what happened is the stem rotted, and it basically just came apart from the leaf, and yeah, so it didn't do very well at all. As you can see, the stem is broken off, and here's the other part. It happens sometimes. It's just really annoying when it does, because that means like you won't have a lovely baby watermelon peperomia. I've got another cutting here which hasn't done very well, as you saw in the last video. I gave it some more time and I haven't seen anything dramatic happen apart from the stems are actually starting to rot. And this can happen with water propagations quite a lot. Sometimes some work, sometimes some don't. That's why I tend to suggest to cut more than one cutting off your plant, maybe like 2 or 3, just so you have one chance of the cuttings rooted. So as you can see, they have like pretty much rotted and gone really bad, and I actually pulled it out, and I don't know if you can see that, but there, right there, that green line there is the stem that came off. And this happens the most with water propagations. And we saw in the last video that my Rhapsodophora tetrasperma, this cutting, as you saw, it was lovely and it was nice and green, and obviously within that week of me putting out a video and stuff, it is not doing very well at all. It actually has died. Nothing has come to it, and it's just really sad. But you know, it happens sometimes. We can always like do like propagations again. If it's a plant that you already have, then you can just do it again. Unfortunately, with the tetrasperma and the other one that I showed you before that, obviously I don't have that plant, but you know, I can get another cutting, or I can buy the actual plant if I feel like I need to. And yeah, so that's kind of what I really wanted to show you out of like the failed propagations. I think I might have a few within my cuttings that I have got rooted. There might be a few fails, but apart from that, all of these I've got down here are all rooted. I've got 4 different types of plants that I'm going to be potting up. So what I've got with me to pot up plants is I've got a load of these nursery pots. I'm not sure how like big they are exactly, but I've got this whole lot. It's like 130 of them for like some good money. I can't remember how much, but I will link what I'm showing you, what I have, down below in the description. I got all these products from Amazon, and I also have a pack of houseplant potting mix. This one's a 4-litre one because that's what all they had at the moment on Amazon, so I got 2 bags. This is just a full one, which I possibly be using, but not yet. So this mix has perlite and ceramicus for good airflow and drainage and all that, and also the ceramicus, and that helps to contain some water, so you don't have to regularly water your plants, which is absolutely great. And majority of my plants that I have potted into this mix, and they're doing so well. When I say the majority is because some of them I haven't needed to repot and they're in the soil that they came with, or some of them before I actually got this houseplant potting mix, I actually have in bonsai mix. So for example, my variegated monstera is in the bonsai mix, as well as some other plants which I can't exactly remember off the top of my head. But I've now stuck to houseplant potting mix only because bonsai mix will be a lot of money, and also this is very good alternative for me. The only reason I have bonsai mix is because I had some baby bonsais that I'm growing at the moment, and that's what they needed. So I just used the rest of that because you can use bonsai potting mix with houseplants. It's good drainage. So the first couple of propagations I'm going to pot up are my polka dot begonia cuttings. I've got about 4 cuttings here. Now with these, when they root, their roots are actually like really thin. I'm just trying to take it out now. Right. Oh, I've lost a leaf. Oops. Right. So these, when polka dot begonia cuttings are so delicate, especially the little baby leaves that they grow. So this one I will not be potting up anytime soon because it literally has next to nothing of roots, but I will be potting up this cutting right here, and it's got enough roots to survive. I don't know if you can see that. The roots are really thin, but we have got some baby leaves, so I will be potting that up as the baby leaves are growing, therefore there is enough stable roots in order for them to be potted up. And I've got another 2 here, and these leaves, these roots are a lot longer, and you can probably see if I can get close enough. So as you can see, these roots are very long, but they're also very thin, so you've got to be really careful and with potting them up, as they are very delicate, and obviously most plants have quite thick roots, but these ones have really thin ones, so you just got to make sure they're really long. And if they're like, I'll say about that much and they've started to grow small leaves, I do actually will just pot them up because I know that they're stable enough to be potted up. So I'm just going to pot them up now and you're going to watch. Let's roll the time lapse on. So we now have 3 potted up begonia cuttings, and they look so beautiful. So with begonia propagating, it's pretty simple. I prefer to put it in water, and just because it's the best way of doing it, as well as not worrying about the leaves if they do start to turn a bit brown and crispy at the ends. It just happens, unfortunately, which is out of our control. So yeah, that's what we got here. So the next propagations I'm going to be putting up are my Maranta Lucanera cuttings. They're so beautiful. These are well overdue a pot up. I'm just going to separate these out because I have started to intertwine with each other. So I see this cutting here only has a little bit of rooting on it. It's only got 1 long root and there's 2 smaller ones, so I'm going to put that back in the bottle, as well as this one is actually doing really well, but also it hasn't got enough roots. This leaf is turning really yellow. I'm not really sure about that. I've never had that experience before. As you can see, the green is disappearing very quickly on that one. It might be because it's producing a new leaf in the middle there, but I'm not quite sure. So I'm just going to put that back because it doesn't have enough roots to be potted up anyway. I always make sure they have like super long roots as well as a lot, just like this one here. This one has enough roots and it's also got a really tiny baby popping out in the middle there, so that is a really good sign to start potting up your propagation. So I have a load of pots here, just realised. The only reason I am putting this bag on my lap is because I've got the potting mix in this bag, and the only reason I got it in a bag is just to reduce the mess. Like if I pick out the soil and it like falls out as I'm taking out the bag, because it does happen sometimes, just to collect what I drop. So I have a few updates that I should really talk about during this potting up. So the first one is I have lost my Alocasia Wente. It just died off. It got fungus as well apparently, and it wasn't really doing well at all as it was infested with thrips. Well, it had a lot of thrip damage as well, and it just couldn't really survive. So unfortunately I had to you know, had to do what I had to do, and it was really sad because I actually didn't want to do this at all. I really loved my Alocasia Wente, but unfortunately she is no longer with us, which is really unfortunate. But my Alocasia Zebrina is doing really well. That one has only 1 leaf left, as it lost its other leaves, which is absolutely fine, but this leaf is the newest one, so it's doing quite well at the moment. And my Alocasia Poly, that one is losing a leaf at the moment, but the other leaves are doing fine and it's doing fine. It seemed to have worked. So yeah, basically I've only lost an Alocasia, and it all happens to us. Like sometimes we'll lose a plant to something, and it happens But we can always get another one if we ever come across the plant again, or not. And I will be watering all these propagations I potted up at the end of this video. And I don't think we need to show me watering propagation plants because you know, it's not very fun. Right, so the next propagation I'm going to show you is my Marble Queen pothos. So I just want to show you this. This isn't actually going to be potted up. I've just realised it actually has no a little bit of roots. So this one's actually doing really well. It's got a really tiny baby roots. That one's going to go back in here. So the only reason why I got this out, and I completely forgot until just now, is that this one is not doing very well. This cutting. I do have a Marble Queen pothos plant, so, and the only reason I took these cuttings because the leaves weren't that great and they didn't make the plant that I have very satisfying to look at, so I didn't actually wanted those leaves on, so I just chopped them off. So yeah, so that's not what I'm going to be potting up. Completely forgot about that. The last thing I will be potting up, and definitely potting up, is my Tradescantia quadricolor cuttings. So some of these cuttings, as I have been looking at, have died off a little, and I will be putting them in this really cute mug. So this mug's like, don't know where I got this from. I didn't buy this. This actually was bought for me by my best mates for my birthday about a year ago or so. And look inside, look, it's really lovely flowers, and I love the decoration. So this mug is like a nice, I want to say lilac colour, but it's more of like a, yeah, like a really dark lilac, I guess. So yeah, the only reason I'm going to be putting up some of these into here is because I absolutely love this plant, and I really wanted to use this mug for something. So I thought the best idea was to actually just use it as a little pot. And it doesn't have any drainage holes in the bottom, obviously, because it is a mug and the mug contains water. So you know, it's not that bad. So I do have a lot of dead cuttings. Obviously they just haven't rooted, and they just took too long to finally root. So I'm just going to go through them quickly and figure out what's viable and what's not, and I will just pot up the few that I have. I am going to be doing a lot of propagating in the spring once the winter is over, obviously, just due to the fact that plants don't really want to be chopped up when they they're not actively growing. It's a bit of a shock to them as well. So I do have a few cuttings. I've got some really nice roots and I can't show you, but the leaves, you can probably see there, some of the leaves are like dead. So what I'm going to be doing, I'm just going to be picking off these dead leaves if I can, very carefully. If not, I'm just going to have to keep them on. I can probably, there we go. So I'm just going to be pulling off these dead leaves because they're not worth being there, because the plant will just be putting their energy towards these dead leaves instead of actually roots or new growth. But I'll tell you what, my Tradescantia quadricolor is growing so much. It has grown so much, and I'm so happy about that. So a few ways you can tell that your cuttings didn't survive the rooting process is if the stems start to like go really soggy, and they start to go really soggy, and they start like breaking off. That's when you know when the cutting has had it, or it just doesn't grow any roots. If you have like leaf cuttings, obviously, the leaves will just shrivel up and they might get disconnected from the stem, which you have to be really careful about, because it could happen to you and it could end up like that. And I don't know how I'm gonna get this stem out of this bottle, because I use this bottle for propagating it. It's just like a really small cute bottle of like was gin. It was orange and cacao gin. Really nice. Really nice. Right. So I have just separated the bad propagating parts, the failed propagations to the good ones, and yeah, so we're just gonna pot it up. So what I'm just gonna do is I'm going to put the remaining soil that I have in this bag in the mug, and I know a lot of people are going to like disagree with me and tell me that you shouldn't actually be potting up plants that don't have any, like plants and things that don't have drainage holes. So the only reason why I'm doing this is because I can pot up stuff in drainage holes as long as I be really careful about the watering, and you should really be careful about the watering because obviously you can't water straight through the thing you're potting it up in. So yeah, you do have to be really careful about the watering. But I have a water meter, and I'll only put just enough water, just like a tiny bit of water every time I water this. And I have a little water meter to put in the moisture meter. Sorry, I've got a moisture meter to put in the soil to check that my plants are dry and they need watering, and I use it for every plant I have, and I have about 70 plants and probably about 75 now or something. Yeah, it'll be 75 by the time I've potted this up. And I put in the moisture meter in every single one that I have, and it's just to check that they are they have got enough water and they need watering. Otherwise I overwater my plants, and because you can't always tell whether your plant needs watering, especially with the soil, because I've put my moisture meter in like soil before where it look wet but it's actually dry, which is kind of strange, but it's dry. Like I put it in like the first like inch or two down. I'm not very good at measurements, so I'm probably saying the wrong thing, but I just kind of dumped it in the soil, and I leave it in there until it gives me a steady measure, and then I either water or don't. So during winter, I do advise you all to, unless it's a plant that you know cannot be dried out fully before watering, then I suggest you let all your plants dry out fully before you water them, because you will overwater your plants, and it's a nightmare because some plants are so dramatic that if they got overwatered just a slight bit, it's horrible. I am literally battling with a variegated lipstick plant that I've got, and it really hates me at the moment apparently, and I did pot it up, I watered it, and I must have watered it too much by accident just on like the first water, and it just started dropping its leaves. And the only reason why I know that I overwatered it because I searched it up, and yeah, it said I overwatered it, and I was like, oh no. So I let it dry out fully, and I waited, and then I watered it again, and a few leaves started to drop off. So if anybody has any like any advice on that, on like variegated lipstick plant, just let me know, because just give me a message down in the comments below, because that would really help me, because at the moment I am really puzzled as to why it's like that, because I let it dry out and I do water it a bit, so maybe I should water less than I usually do. Maybe that's what I should do. So we've now got the last little propagation potted up, and it's so cute. Oh, I love it. I was thinking of putting my Tradescantia nuke that I have growing in here, but it's so happy in the pot that it's in. I don't want to disturb it, so I have just got some these cuttings that I got from my Tradescantia quadricolor, and they should be really happy. So yeah, that is basically everything it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed it and just enjoyed sitting here and just listen to me chat away about my propagations and giving you a little bit of advice. You can take it how you like. I am not a professional at all. I do absolutely love my plants, and I know enough to help you guys just a little bit when potting or looking after plants. I will be doing some more plant care videos in the future. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you next video. Bye!